Welcome to ChessBase Magazine 176. This time, of course, the main tournament of the issue is the World Championship match between Magnus Carlsen and Sergei Karjakin, which was won by Carlsen 3-1 in the tie-break games. All games are annotated, one by Kerana, one by So, by David Navarra, and many other high-class annotators. As usual, for this video format, I had to delete almost all the annotations due to space limitations. How did Karjakin here with black to move win and took the lead? But later, of course, Magnus was able to strike back and win in the end. A2, and Carlsen resigned, as this is really a good example of the strong attacking duo Queen and Knight in the endgame. Yeah, according to Capablanca's theorem, they are stronger in the attack than Queen and Bishop, and this is a good case in point, as White's check now have run out, and there's no good way to parry the mating threat. So congratulations to Magnus Carlsen and his whole team for defending the title. The next top tournament is the London Chess Classic, which was won by Wesley So, who also won the Grand Chess Tour with it. And also the election on the ChessBase website was won by him, and second was Magnus Carlsen, while ChessBase Player of the Year was surprisingly Jan Nepomniachtchi, as this looks only at the performance in the tournaments which the CBM covers in detail. And here Nepomniachtchi had a performance from 2,839, and Magnus Carlsen was second with 2,836. So, but I think for Magnus was much more important that he defended his title as world champion. Wesley has annotated his draw against Levin Aronian. How to defend here with black against White's unpleasant play on the queen side, actively or passively. By the way, Michael Marin looks in his strategy column at the topic defense and counterattack in great detail. Queen c7 is right, and Wesley defended coolly and drew easily in the following, while rook d1 check would lose. It looks active and good to exchange attacking potential, and here the rook is threatened, but c6 would throw a spanner in the works and White would be winning. Wesley has annotated the game in detail. I, of course, again had to delete almost all of his annotations. Congratulations to him for the strong performance and for winning the Grand Chess Tour. Then the last top tournament is the European Club Cup in Novi Sad, which was won by Alkaloid Skopje with Dingli Ren on first board, then Dimitri Andreikin, who has also annotated his win against Linier Dominguez Perez, and on the third board Pavel Elyanov. Many games from this tournament are annotated on the DVD. How to continue here with black? Bishop takes f3, and yeah, it's over, or it's, yeah. In the game after queen d3, bishop e4 was the last move, and Dominguez Perez resigned. Okay, it's not over. This is more tenacious, but nevertheless, the queen ending is winning. Black has only one extra pawn, but his queen controls the whole board, and slowly but surely it must be winning. There are 11 opening surveys and 3 videos, one by Andrew Martin on the Trompovsky with White, one by Vidit Guirati on the Grünfeld with, in the fourth move, knight f3, bishop g7 and h4. This is surprisingly dangerous. Watch Vidit's video. And last not least, Robert Riss with the double fianchetto with black. From the 11 opening surveys, I want to present 3 in slightly more detail. Georgios Soulidis deals with a very interesting way to play against the Sicilian setups, which have the following nature. Yeah, and now queen c7 sooner or later. And the idea is queen f3, queen g3. Black has made many pawn moves and weakened the dark squares, and this is a good way to try to exploit this. Look at Georgios' article in more detail. White's strategy is very sound, just hoping for a slight endgame advantage, weakened dark squares, long-lasting strategical initiative, and Black doesn't get the structures he wants, not the typical Sicilian counter play. So, yeah, a very sound way for White to play for a slight opening advantage, I think. Martin Bräutigam looks at bishop g5, but not the real Trompowsky, but only after knight f3 and d5. And he thinks that this is dangerous than thought. Even Kramnik has tried it here in a blitz game against Gelfand. Yeah, and if Black is not so sure what to do, then White really can hope for a slight initiative, especially as he has here knight takes e4, as Bräutigam analyzes in detail in his survey on the DVD. And of course, one way to play against it might be a setup with c5 and queen b6. But here's Bräutigam offers an interesting way to deal with it. Knight c3, very aggressive. And now the slightly surprising novelty king e2. And yeah, White is much better developed. His king is not as unsafe as it seems. And Bräutigam claims that this novelty gives White a slight opening advantage. So this might be an interesting idea. Bishop g5 in the third move might be more dangerous than previously thought. And the third survey I want to mention is by Nadezhda Kozintseva, showing a way for White against the Winava French. The sideline Winava French, sideline queen d2, played a few times by woman world champion Yifan Hu, like here in Monte Carlo against Nana Zagnidze, and it is more poisonous than it seems. White wants to exploit the dark squares on the king side more or less immediately, and here bishop d7 is more solid than c5, after which White already had a lot of dark square pressure quickly. Kramnik, of course, answered more solidly in the rapid match in Mediash against Yifan Hu with knight e7, but also here Nadezhda Kozintseva has an option. Yeah, this is very solid and very sound for Black, of course, as usual by Kramnik. But it's also still interesting. White can hope for a minimal advantage if here castling short is played. And also it's a solid and sound position. So an interesting surprise weapon played several times by woman world champion Yifan Hu. Next, the columns. In the endgame column, I again look at rook endings, this time at rook ending technique. You can never study enough rook endings, of course. In the strategy column, Michael Marin looks at defense and counter-attack, and I always like how Marin manages to combine the old classics with the new ones. And of course, this topping is connected with Petrosian and of course with Viktor Korchnoi. How did he deal with White's pressure here against Yehuda Grünfeld with Black to move in Brussels 1985? c5, a very good way to deal with the kingside play. It's not a counter-strike in the center, but it grabs space in the center and it creates a good square for the knight. And here Black has very, very good counter-attacking potential. It seems that White feels overextended on the king side, not sufficiently supported premature attack, and Korchnoi won in a counter-attack in his typical style. So study Marine's article in detail, as usually defense is difficult and can be, the defensive skills often can be even improved further by studying the great classical examples. Oliver Ray looks in his tactic column at hanging queens and octopus knights, and I liked Zwagintsev Schwarz from the European Club Cup most. White to move, and Zwagintsev came up with an amazing concept. Rook a3, and now first comes the hanging rook, and then comes the hanging queen, and finally the octopus knight triumphs. Just an amazingly beautiful combination. Really solve the exercises yourself first to keep your tactics sharp. This cannot be trained enough, I think. Yeah, next is Simon Williams with the move by move column. He looks at Aronian versus Rapport from the European Club Cup in Novi Sad. It was a Chigorin defense, and Simon Williams thinks this was the game of the year and really solve his exercises first and watch the amazing creativity of Hungarian attacking genius Richard Rapport. Don't miss that. Last not least, the opening trap by Rainer Knag, who has selected 9 traps, and I've selected one of them, the Quade King's Gambit trap. I had written 3 opening surveys, but 2 specifically on that in ChessBase Magazine 162 and 63. And Simon Williams has recorded 2 DVDs on the King's Gambit for ChessBase. So here we have the Quade move. And it's more than a trap. In the books it's often called Quade trap and slightly dismissed, but I think it is quite poisonous. And the critical line now is d6, and probably Weiss has to, if he said A, he has to say B now and has to sacrifice a piece. And in a correspondence game it might not be in modern times such a good idea to play it, as I doubt that. But it has compensation, but in a correspondence game it's probably not sufficient. While over the board, White's attack is extremely dangerous. Yeah, Black's development is not so good. White can follow up by developing the bishop, casting long, bringing everybody to the attack. And I think this is a critical line for the Quade gambit of the King's Gambit. But with g4, White falls into the Quade trap, like in Petr Velička, second German Bundesliga. Okay, it's still playable, of course, but it's not critical for White now anymore. Of course, now I think White is even slightly better. Yeah, but how does it continue? And of course, I had to delete the rest of the game, but it's on the DVD by Rainer Knag in traditional and video format. What is White's point? What is then the best move for Black? What is the main point of the trap? Solve it yourself first, go into some detail, and only then watch the solution on the DVD. And now I wish you a lot of fun with ChessBase Magazine 176.